Hello, my name is Chris Cook, and I'm a relationship coach, and I'm grateful that you've joined me today. I want to ask you a question. If someone were to ask you, what is the single most important thing you could do to experience the good life, a life full of health and happiness and longevity? What would you say that single thing is? While you consider that the answer to that question, I want to share with you some thoughts.
Okay, so let's get into it then. So, one of my favorite books, The Good Life Lessons from the World's Longest Study on Happiness, Robert Waldinger and Mark Schultz, directors at the Harvard University. So, let me ask you a question. If you could make one life choice that, in your estimation, would lead to the most happiness and the healthiest you in the future, what would that one life choice be? What would you decide to do? Think about that for a second. As you think about that, consider this survey that was issued to some millennials in 2007. They were asked, what do you think would lead to you experiencing this life of happiness and health? 76% said that they wanted to be rich, and 50% thought that being famous was the key. The same cohort were surveyed again later, and this time they were not so eager about this fame thing, but they did think financial security remained an important, significant goal in achieving happiness and health. Did you come up with similar thoughts? Let's consider this 80 years research on the topic of happiness and well-being. So it is one of the longest research that has ever been done, focused on human well-being. Started in 1938 at Harvard University. It initially involved 268 Harvard sophomores. This was in the bottom of the Great Depression. They discovered, or they desired, or wanted to discover, what were the factors that led to this happy and healthy life. What were the factors that led to this happy and healthy life? So that was their objective. Later on, the study included 456 inner city Boston youth, young men of a similar age group. These were more disadvantaged individuals, and they wanted to see what socioeconomic factors, what difference socioeconomic factors played with the data collection process and the results. So over time, they had 1,300 descendants of these initial uh, participants in their study. And so it was a multi generational study. So let's have a quick overview then of this research project. So it was titled The Harvard Study of Adult Development, and as I said, it began in the 1930s. They initially started with 724 young men from Harvard University, which you can imagine were a little bit more upper class, and the young men from the inner city Boston, which were a bit more not so upper class, should we say. So the data that they collected included physical and mental health, personal histories, relationship data, career trajectory, and they want to uncover the key factors, as we said, that led to well-being and longevity. The data collection method included surveys and interviews, and they would regularly give these men questionnaires that they would go through and answer, and they would ask them questions about their relationship quality, their health, and they would give them some in-depth interviews that sometimes would last for hours. The medical examination were physical assessment, and they wanted to look at they looked at brain scans and cognitive function tests. They had psychological assessments also, personality and cognitive tests tracking the changes in mental abilities and resilience of the participants. And as I said, it's generational. So they started with that group. They included the wives, the spouses of these men, their children, grandchildren, and so on. So it's a long, multi generational study. Key findings then. Key findings included the fact that relationships are crucial to obtaining quality of life. So you want to have happiness, and you want to live long, and you want to be healthy. um, Good quality relationships is the key. And so, if you had to answer the researchers' questions the research questions that the initial researchers started in 1938, this little paragraph there would be the answer. It is relationships, close relationships, that is the strongest predictor of longevity, health, and happiness. So they also found that loneliness was very harmful, and chronic loneliness produced results similar to those who were participating in smoking. Health outcomes, I mean, um, and that is mental and physical health. Purposeful lives. So people who had a sense of purpose and just went about that purpose eagerly seem to do well as well. The ability to adaptability to the changes in life and the challenges of life led to people being happier and healthier in later years. So the what is this focus then on relationship quality? They learned that a few deep, trusting relationships were more important than many not so deep relationships. That's where the meat and the bones really exist. Those deep, trusting relationships. The research proved our young millennials wrong. That is, you do not experience the fulfillment in happiness and health because you are rich or you are well socially connected. You're famous. This is a bit of a lie that society tells people. Okay, why then is quality over quantity so important? They found that few close, supportive relationships led to greater happiness and emotional well being. So, what can we take away from this scientific finding? Well, I would suggest that we take a focus on deepening those relationships that we have with our spouses, with our siblings, if we're of that age, excuse me, and focus on deepening those connections and those and maintaining those bonds. And you know, we do want to make time for others as well, but those close relationships are the most important things. It is important to invest in relationships, and that means making the effort to strengthening those relationships involving your parents, your siblings, spouses, community relationships also are important, and the important thing is creating bonds and nurturing these bonds. They add to health and longevity. So let's think about what we can do to apply the science in this regard. I would suggest that you schedule regular catch-up meetings with friends and prioritize family time, and do go and participate in community activities as well. So just get yourself connected with people, surround yourself with people, and and get yourself connected. But the closer relationships are more important. It is better to invest in experiences than to spend a lot of money on fancy stuff. So my suggestion in applying the science in this regard is to consider our 8-week marriage coaching program, where it culminates in an all expenses paid, once in a lifetime VIP experience for our couples. So yes, I'm doing a little bit of sales there. I apologize, but I'm applying the science, guys. Developing emotional intelligence. Researchers found that participants who developed emotional intelligence and were adaptable, were able to experience long-lasting and positive relationships. Um, so the key finding there is emotional intelligence will allow you to be able to resolve conflicts more effectively and will help you to maintain those essential relationships. In applying the science, I would suggest that you start to increase your emotional intelligence by incorporating this idea of the Hesed mindset. The Hesed mindset. Um, what is the Hesed mindset? The Hesed mindset, in a nutshell, is the idea of having as much empathy and compassion as you can towards yourself and towards those around you, those with whom you have relationships, especially your spouse, those deep, close, meaningful relationships. The Hesed mindset is having having a pure heart where you can experience unconditional love. So yeah, give that some thought. It that by the way, this is a that I don't think anyone fully achieves that Hesed mindset in this life, maybe, but we will certainly endeavor. Then emotional intelligence is valuable. Sorry, emotionally open and vulnerable. I'm sorry, is important because that allows you to be able to foster trust in your relationship, and that helps to strengthen the relationships. Um, and you'll have a deeper connection. How can we apply the science in this regard? Again, I do have a coaching program where we introduce our clients to the covenantal mindset. This allows individuals to be vulnerable with each other, spouses, it's for married people, and they're able to make covenants with each other that are meaningful to them. Let's take a deep dive then into the idea of emotional intelligence. It is the ability to understand, manage, and influence your own and others' emotions. Imagine having the ability to do that, to be able to understand and manage your own emotions and those of others. It involves such skills, excuse me, as emotional awareness, the ability to harness the emotion and facilitate thinking, problem solving, and regulating your emotions. So, some key elements of emotional intelligence include self awareness, understanding where you're at, and if you're feeling angry, if you're feeling sad, just being aware of that. And sometimes people are oblivious to their feelings. Emotional intelligent people are aware of how they're feeling in the moment. Self-regulation, following from knowing what you're feeling, is being able to regulate those feelings. And so, if you got some natural man feelings, including anger, and which is very harmful to your own health, and you're struggling to forgive others if some impasses have occurred, then you want to be able to regulate those emotions, and it requires the next item on the list is motivation. You're gonna need to have the motivation to do that because sometimes that may not be very easy. You will need to experience empathy and have that empathy, emanate in your social skills and your social interaction with others. So, in a nutshell, emotional intelligence plays a crucial role in your success and in your interaction with others, your leadership ability, and your ability to navigate complex emotional landscapes. Um, and you will be the kind of person that everyone wants to be around. Okay, so what is this idea of finding shared meaning? Sound like one of the levels on the sound relationship house theory. But shared meaning is the sense of purpose in the relationship, and this is a predictor of happiness as well. So whether you're in a marriage couple or you're in a family with those close, meaningful relationships. You want to grow together and have these common goals that help to build the bond between you and just help you to be more resilient and stronger as a family or couple. Okay, are we going to apply the science in this context? Again, as part of my coaching program, we allow our couples to make future goals with each other so that they can have this shared meaning, which we believe is a very crucial part of building connection and just binding them together with kind of a bit of a strong bond. So, what then is this idea of finding meaning and purpose in life? They found that people who had purposeful lives, whether it's through their work, their hobbies, whether it's through helping others, volunteering, um, these things contributed significantly to the happiness and the contentment of these individuals. The sense of purpose allowed them to experience greater happiness and health in their lives, have more fulfilling lives. How can we apply the science in this context? I would suggest that you reflect on what gives you meaning in your life. And you can think about it as an individual or as a family, and really explore what gives you and your family meaning. Uh, Sorry. And uh, these these things could be your family relationships, spending time with family, your career, serving others, volunteering. If you can try to get these areas of your life that brings you so much meaning, incorporate them into your daily activities, then you are on a winner. Okay, let's talk about uh, physi- um, psychological, and emotional connection. So, trusting relationships are a protector. They protect us from experiencing the kind of burnout that comes from chronic stress. So, if you come home one day and you're able to speak to your spouse or a member of your family about something that's stressing you out, maybe it's at school, maybe it's at work, an incident that took place on the bus or something. And by the way, when you have these experiences, your fight and flight systems they kick in, and so your body is kind of releasing all this stress hormone trying to get you to fight or flight, and you need to turn that off. Coming home and having a calm conversation with a trusted loved one that helps you to kind of share your feelings and just realize that actually the world isn't that bad. These are the things that turn the constant flow of cortisol off in your system, and then you won't be so stressed. And so, these relationships, these trusting relationships, they are very good at protecting your health. Okay, so those who are experiencing prolonged loneliness, as we said before, experience health outcomes similar to those who smoke. Loneliness is not merely the physical state of being alone, but importantly, it is the subjective experience of feeling socially isolated and disconnected from desired others. So you want to be more socially connected um, than you are, and that the not the that very subjective feeling is the thing that creates the loneliness. The emphasis is on the isolation. You can be surrounded by others, you can be in a marriage, but still lack that emotional connection that you desire, that meaningful emotional connection. And so it's not only being in relationships, it's being in those close, meaningful, connected relationships. That's the important thing. The authors of the study and of this book, um, they differentiated the idea of loneliness from isolation. So if you are, taking some time off, you want to be by yourself, and you can choose to be by yourself and take some time off. This isn't loneliness. Loneliness is distinctly this being socially isolated and cut off from the desired others. Single folks are not necessarily lonely. I just want to just get that out there. I'm not suggesting that all single people are lonely, and I just want to clarify that. However, they may experience periods of loneliness. Staying socially connected in your communities and in your social networks. These are the things that will help to improve your health, your mental health, physical health, and your longevity. How do we apply the science in this regard? You might be familiar with that song by Nat King Cole. You're nobody till somebody loves you, so find yourself somebody to love. Um, I do not want to patronize, but if you can find love, I will say bless you. Go ahead and do it because it's a wonderful thing if you can get it. Okay, let me move on from that really awkward moment there, and say that in the meantime, before you find that person, you can join religious organizations. You can get involved in clubs, groups, and other activities that will allow you to be able to express your interests and just connect with others, and you can connect with other families as well, and that's also very important. And you're just not going to experience this social isolation. Mind you, you may experience social isolation in regard to a thing or an issue, and not necessarily in regard to um, desiring relationships, as it were. So that's also a factor. So what is this idea of repairing relationships after conflict? So disagreements are natural. The ability to repair after conflict is crucial for long term happiness. So we need to take the responsibility to to mend those relationships when they're in process. How can we apply the science in this regard? I would suggest that after an argument or some heated debate or discussion, or feelings are hurt, try to resolve the issue and do not hold any resentment in your heart. I would suggest that you be the first to apologize and do your best to kind of mend the issue. In terms of the purposeful life and the meaningful life, you may find that you have great meaning in your work. If so, then bless you. Not too many people actually experience meaningful work. A research was done this year, in the year of 2024, CIPD's Good Work Index, and they found that a significant number of people, like I think it was like 47% of people who were surveyed, and the surveys thousands of people, they went to work for the money. So they had this contractual kind of relationship with their work, where they went to get paid and they didn't really have any meaning in their work. And so that's not a good situation. If you can find meaning in your work, then wonderful. Um, you can have hobbies as well, and other activities that you enjoy. These activities will help to contribute to your happiness in the moment. So people with sense of purpose live happier and healthier lives. So how can we apply the science in this regard? So reflect in your own personal experience on what brings you meaning and purpose in your life. Could be a family, could be a career, could be serving others, and try to align this list of things that or thing that you find most meaningful into your daily activities. So if it's about service and serving others and bringing joy to others, figure out a way to, incorporate that into your daily or weekly lives, and you will experience greater joy and satisfaction. So it's important to build community connection. The relationship, we said that deep and meaningful relationships are important, but community relationships, relationships that you may have in the church, if you are religious minded, or the mosque or the synagogue, whatever your faith is, or if you're not religious at all, maybe in some club or something. These community activities will help to give you the kind of the connection that would help would be quite beneficial to your health and your happiness. It is a good idea to try to get involved in these activities together as a spouse or as a family, and that will just boost the whole experience for you. So they found that adaptability to life's challenges was one of the key factors that led to happiness. It involves being flexible. Life isn't going to be a bed of roses, and you're going to get some curveballs sometimes. Um, you need to be prepared to be adaptable. And I'm a believing man. I have faith in God, and so that's a big deal in terms of helping me to cope with challenges when they happen. I believe that everything will work out eventually, and so that is important for me. I don't know what would be important for you, but it is important to see things from a bit of an objective perspective when challenges occur, and try to be adaptable. So, what are we going to say in terms of applying the science? I would say sometimes embracing change is a good thing. And if you consider building resilience an important thing, then just the thought will help you to try to maintain that kind of perspective, and try to get some support as well. You need some support if you're experiencing a challenge. You don't have to go through the experience by yourself, unless you're by yourself. Then you can even so you if you're alone, if you're single and you're experiencing that sense of isolation, then please do something about it. Reach out for help, and it's important to be vulnerable, because you may find that you were spending all this time worrying when you didn't really need to. One of the important things they found was that those who were grateful, this idea of being thankful, they were able to experience this a more positive life. It helped them to experience stronger bonds, and this just generally happy, grateful people are happier. And so I would like to suggest that you keep an attitude of gratitude, and make sure that the people around you, those in your close and meaningful relationships, make sure that they know how much you love them and appreciate them, and you're going to feel even better about yourself. I would like to suggest that we move on to this idea of avoiding grudges. If you harbor sentiment, according to the research and their findings, this will have a negative impact on your health. It is harmful, both your mental and your psychological health. So I think we should apply the science in this regard by being selfish and forgiving people. Yeah, change it a little bit. Think I'm forgiving you, and I'm gonna drop this whole thing because I'm selfish. Um, I don't know. Maybe that's tricking yourself into actually doing something that's difficult, but really, it's noble to forgive. So yeah, and apply that to your life. Okay, so whenever you do something nice for your spouse or for a member of the family, you are making a deposit in their emotional bank account. And so when you do something not so nice, hopefully not on purpose, that experience is kind of like making a withdrawal from the emotional bank account, and they're going to need to have some deposit in there to be able to cope with you and your mistakes. And so I would like to suggest that in the next 7 days, you make emotional deposits in the bank account of your wife or husband, or family members, or whoever you're experiencing a close that close relationship with, by giving compliments. Actually, this is made specifically for married people. other people may be watching, but it's specifically designed for married people. So you'll be giving compliments to your spouse, offering acts of kindness to your spouse, which can involve doing the chores and doing the things that they know needs to be done, but don't really like to do it so much, and spending quality time. Spending time is a very, very important part of showing people how you love them, and that's a huge deposit in the emotional bank account, especially if you leave work early and you change up your plans to spend time that is going to be meaningful. And being a good listener, not one of my strengths, but it is important to focus, empathize, validate, clarify, and avoid interrupting when you do listen. Okay, so we want to encourage you to make the necessary investment in your relationship. It is about effort. These relationships do not come into existence all by themselves. The individuals had to make effort. But the foundation that you make in creating these healthy relationships will pay highly in terms of dividends. I would like to ask you to consider if you know of anyone who may benefit from the science and the research that is being discussed in this presentation, this video. Get in touch. Get in touch. Maybe it's yourself, maybe someone you know. Get in touch. I would love to hear from you, and I can tell you about our 8-week coaching program and how it can help to revitalize your marriage, and just help you to experience this happy life, the good life, as we learn from the research. Okay, that is it from me. Thank you so much for taking your time to listen to me and have me drone on about this. But I hope you found it beneficial and helpful. Have a wonderful day.